Hello my loves, welcome back to the channel. It's Cass. Now I know this is a little extra for a nursing video, but I'm sorry, the look is eating so bad I have to continue to give it to y'all. Sorry not sorry. Today we are going to be talking about travel housing and how to find it. Trying to find housing is one of those things that will send you into oblivion. Like, you literally will be so stressed out about housing that you're like, do I even want to go work this contract anymore? For me, I originally was an Airbnb girly. I'm just like, Airbnb is so simple. You don't have to worry about like contacting the host, doing all of this, blah, 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 blah. Airbnb has failed me every single assignment that I've been on. Every single assignment. The first assignment I went to in California was in 2021. That Airbnb that I went to, I got kicked out of. They didn't have all the paperwork and all of that to have an Airbnb up and running, and their neighbors were fed up, and I got the bad end of the stick. When I got to Dallas, I couldn't even find an Airbnb because they were so expensive that it was just out of the question altogether. It was either you were staying in a small shack or you were staying in someone's room in their house with them and their family, their dogs, their grandma, aunties, and their uncles, and you were paying $1,500 for a room. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? And then this last go around LA, listen, let me tell you something about Airbnb. Airbnb, just, you gotta leave it alone. It was for me so convenient because again, you can get on there, find a place. I normally like to find a place for like the first month, a few weeks, or a first month. And then that way I can go ahead and try to find something more local by asking either my coworkers that I'm working with. A lot of the times people have guest houses or they know another traveler who's about to leave and they have a friend, and it's just way easier and simple that way. But again, it's not something that you can really do until you're physically in the place you're going to be in, which is why for me, Airbnb was like the simple alternative to getting housing immediately. Well, now they've upped the prices on everything on Airbnb. I mean, like, you'll think something's affordable and I'm like, okay, I found a good place. It's a small guest house, but it's enough for one person. I have parking. I'm going to be in a safe area, blah, 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 blah. By the time they add those fees, it went from being in my price range to absolutely, I'm not paying that. Are you insane? You're insane. For me, being a single woman staying in a hotel, I just don't ever feel comfortable. I don't care what anybody says. I've just seen so many scary hotel situations, human trafficking. It's not for me. I'm not going to do it. Unless I'm with a group of people and the agency is like wants us there, I'm not staying in a hotel by myself. I'm just not doing it. Like, anybody could be in and out. I'm gone for 12 hours during the nighttime. I could come back and all my stuff is gone. I don't want no smoke when it comes to stuff like that. I'm trying to be safe and not have to spend an arm and a leg to have housing. Because again, when you're traveling, of course, you're duplicating expenses most of the time. I have found that Facebook is your friend. I'm going to link some of my favorite nursing pages down in the description box below. Travel Nurse Gypsy is the best one. I'm sure you've seen it. If you're not on that page, you need to be on that page. It is such a great resource for everything travel nursing, from hospitals, facilities. Sometimes you'll be able to get a review for the exact facility you're going on, even the floor, especially if you're ER ICU. A lot of the times you can find reviews for whether, you know, the hospital was travel friendly, whether, you know, they worked with your scheduling or not. It's just a great resource. If you have any questions like, hey guys, you know, this is the pay rate they're offering, does this seem fair? There will be nurses in the comments helping you. I just love Travel Nurse Gypsy. And then they went ahead and made a Travel Nurse Gypsy housing page. And baby, that has saved me on every single assignment. The thing I love about the Travel Nurse Gypsy housing page is that you can actually search the city that you're looking for. So when I was in Redding, what I did was I literally was just typing in, and I was like typed in Redding, California, and I was finding so many housing options. A lot of them were not available, of course, because someone was either there, they had a nurse that they were waiting to see if they were going to renew or not. But just even getting to quickly message the host on Facebook is just so much better than waiting on Airbnb and hoping that it'll be a good experience. The thing I love about Facebook is you can find the place, talk to the person immediately. 9 times out of 10, they're going to respond fairly quickly, and you can go see the place with your own eyes. You can see if it's in a safe area, in fact, if the space is big enough, if it's what you actually need. Because a lot of the times with Airbnb, of course, you know, they get these photographers, they take these great pictures, they give you a great description. It sounds like it's chef's kiss, and then you get there and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What is this? This is come on, it's not what we talked about. You know what I'm saying? So I really enjoy Facebook for that reason. I was able to find housing for all 3 of my last travel assignments from Facebook. Another good website is Furnished Finders. Now, Furnished Finders, it was fairly new when I started traveling, and you could tell. You would message a host on there and you would never hear back. There's people I still haven't heard back from till this day. Even when I went to Dallas, I was like messaging people way before I even got out there, like, hey, like, is this place going to be available for this? And I never heard from them. The best way to work with Furnished Finders is if you see a property on there that you like, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see it on Travel Nurse Gypsy Housing. I would say about 50% of the time. I don't want to go too high, but I found all of my properties on Facebook first, and then they'll post like their Furnished Finders listing. Or when you go on Furnished Finders, you'll be able to see the Facebook listing or talk to the host, and they'll send you their Airbnb link or they'll send you their Facebook link. It's just a lot easier. Furnished Finder has gotten better though within the last couple of years. They really worked well while I've been out in LA. Instead of having to wait for the host to contact you back, there's actually like customer service that'll be like, hey, we see that you're interested in this property. We'll reach out to the seller for you. We'll see if it's available. Like, they handle all of that. So there's like, now they have a middleman who can get down to business for you. They work on the contract, they do it all. So it's the company, you can tell the company is getting bigger, or you know, someone must have taken over, but they are changing the way that they do things on Furnished Finder. So I think from here on out you'll have a better experience on it, because they actually have customer service who will reach out to the host for you and make sure that you actually can get this place. So yeah, my favorite 2 options, and I'm telling you, this video doesn't even have to be long. All you need to do is go on Facebook. You can find either, you can always just put like travel nurses in California, travel nurses in Oregon, travel nurses in New York, and there'll be a page like travel nurse housing in New York City, travel nurse housing in whatever city that you're looking for housing in. You can find a direct page that way. So that way, if you're just too overwhelmed with Travel Nurse Gypsy, because it's every state, but you can, again, you can search in there from their page. You can search within their page and find what you're looking for specifically. So it just really helps because you're able to crunch down on options. Don't be afraid. If it says it's not available, or it's a post from like a month before and they say someone's in it, I still reach out. Even if I find housing, if I end up not liking it, at least I've had already spoke to this person and they know that I'm in their city, I'm traveling. And sometimes they'll even reach back out to you like, hey, the person is not in fact renewing. Are you still interested? It's just, it's what works way faster with Facebook. And sometimes you're even able to find an Airbnb link, and the prices will be cheaper on Facebook than they are on Airbnb. And a lot of times you can be like, hey, are you going to honor the price that I saw on Facebook? Because then it's like, I'm not going to even rent through Airbnb at all. We just need to go through a different website, i.e. Furnished Finders, because Airbnb adds so many fees so that they can get their cut that a lot of people don't even want to deal with them anyways. So 9 times out of 10, if you find something that you like on Airbnb and then you see it on Furnished Finder or you see it on Facebook and the price is a little bit cheaper, you can also negotiate these things. There's ways to do this. And let me tell you something, Airbnb's customer service is so treacherous now. I've never been so disappointed in a company. Anytime I spend my money, I am reasonable, of course, because I know obviously not everything is going to be 100% up to par, but as long as you're willing to work with me, we can have a good time. It's when you start acting like I don't matter that I start to get upset, because I will link my first LA vlog so you guys can kind of just get a run through of what we went through. But essentially we had a leak in our Airbnb, and I mean, the seller had no cares in the world. He was just like, don't worry, we'll fix it. And he had me living in a construction zone for days, and Airbnb simply just was like, well, you know, the host says this and the host says that. And trust me, I get it. I know there are people going to people's properties and tearing them up, destroying them, but that's not me. And I understand that they don't know, you know, who's coming in and who's going to treat their house with respect and who's not going to. But when I'm not being respected by the host and I'm not in a safe environment and I have documentation, because we're nurses, y'all know we document for a living, baby. And let me tell you something, I'm gonna document every time, because if I'm not gonna get caught up at work with a doctor or all of that legal stuff, I'm definitely not going to get caught up with Airbnb. I'm going to have my documentation locked and loaded every single time, as you should. Document everything. You take notes. You save things. You have to do this. Take pictures and keep them. I made a Google Drive and I said, Airbnb, you're not playing with me, because their little chat system, Okay, their chat system, they love to act like they can't see. Oh, you can only attach one picture. I'm gonna do you one better. Here's this Google Drive link, and look at the treachery that I've faced in these last couple of days, and tell me again that you're not gonna give me my refund. Absolutely not. It's so frustrating, and I don't want anybody to have to go through it. So I'm telling you this right now. If you know that you're traveling, if it's not something where it's like a crisis contract and you need to get there immediately, but you have a little bit of time and you're trying to plan it out, get on Facebook, find some good travel pages. Again, I'm gonna link some of my favorite ones down below. Just do that. Even in LA, which I did not feel comfortable with that page, because you know when something is giving scammy. There was a lot of like LA sublet pages, so not just for medical professionals, but anybody who was looking for housing, because of course it's a city where people are doing business and coming out and doing creative things. And so housing, people need housing. But those sublet pages for Los Angeles were just very like, there's no way you're giving me a 2-bedroom apartment with all the bells and whistles, washer, dryer, 2 parking spots in a garage for like $1,500 a month for the whole thing. Come on, I know the market here. You can't trick me. And so you really have to make sure you watch out for things like that. Of course, don't do any deposits without actually seeing the place, even if it's a FaceTime. Because when I moved to Dallas, I also found my place through Facebook, and she actually was a traveler, and she had a managing company managing her property for her, and it was just so amazing. He FaceTimed me, we did the tour, I saw the place, I liked it, but I had been speaking to both people, I had gotten all the information I needed. You have to make sure that you have enough information and it feels safe. If it doesn't, I'm not transferring anything. I'll see you the day of with a check. Because that's what I did in Dallas. I was like, I'll see you the day of with a check. But I'll sign a lease, I'll sign an agreement right here and right now. But as far as like wiring you funds and I don't know who you are, just so I could come back and your Facebook page is missing, I think the pistachio not. You will not trick me. You will not. I'm not going for it. But when I tell you Facebook is that girl for housing, don't even play yourself with anything else. You could start off on Airbnb all you want to. You're just going to be disappointed. I'm going to tell you right now. Remember guys, Facebook, I'm going to link all the pages down below. Facebook and Furnish Finders. You will have some success on there, and it's so much easier to talk to the host that way, because again, 9 times out of 10, they're compassionate people. They're just people that are just trying to help out their local nurses. Some of them have nurses in their families, or they're nurses and they're just like, we just want you to have a good stay because we know you're working hard. We know you're not at home. We want you to be comfortable. And they actually take that seriously. And even being able to build that rapport with somebody and actually talk to them and let them know what you're coming for and all of that, it really makes a huge difference in your experience and your stay. So yeah, I highly recommend it, guys. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.